Well, hello everyone. I am here with Stu McLaren, and I'm Joanne Flynn Black, the founder of Launch Before, and I'm helping entrepreneurs get out into the world before, right? Before they feel completely comfortable, before they feel ready, and everything's quote perfect. And I'm here with Stu McLaren. He is right now in the middle of a launch. So I am just shocked that he would meet with me during that. So I'm really excited. It's called the Membership Experience. And he's been working with memberships since 2008, helping business owners and entrepreneurs and authors and everyone get out into the membership world. So welcome, Stu.
Joanne, thanks for having me. I'm great to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So I wanted to talk to you. One of the things you talk about a lot is, not things don't have to be completely right, right? They just have to get it going. And can
Yeah.
you talk a little bit about that? Because it's very in line with, my membership of getting out into the world.
Well, back in 2004, I heard a quote from Mike Littman, and he said, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. And that quote sat with me because for a long time in my career, I have, been that person that has put off ideas and procrastinated and I'll wait until this is ready, wait until that is ready. And the reality of it is that there's so much opportunity and possibility that can be gained from just getting going, because too often we think about all the worst case scenarios. Very seldom do we ever think about all the best case scenarios. And so I now love holding space for best case scenarios. Like, what if it succeeds beyond your wildest dreams? And with that, one of the reasons that I am a huge fan, especially in memberships, of encouraging people to get started before they think they're ready, is because the reality of it is with memberships, you're going to be learning from your members, and the only way to learn from them is by actually working with them. So we can plan and we can organize and we can think that we've got everything lined up. But the reality of it is that you will never truly know what and how to best serve your members until you start working with them. So case in point, like Paul Evans launched a membership site called Teen Life Ministries for youth pastors. And initially when he launched the membership, he had like articles and videos, he had a forum, and he had all kinds of other resources. And when he asked his members, after doing this for a couple of years, he finally asked his members, he said, if we were to remove everything from the membership, what's the one thing that you would not want me to remove? And there was an overwhelming response for the exact same thing. And what he realized was the truth of the matter is his members were only there for one item, and that was each week he would provide them a PowerPoint presentation so that these youth pastors could go in and make a few tweaks and they'd be ready for their sermon. They weren't there for the community. They weren't there for all the articles and the coaching and all that stuff. And so Paul ended up eliminating that, over 75% of the work, and just focused on delivering the presentations. And this is why working with people earlier is better, because you will very quickly learn how to craft the experience that best serves them. And so I'm a huge fan of getting going way earlier rather than later, because of what you'll learn, number one. And number two, you will then be working with real people, helping them experience real success, which means you will then have stories. And these stories are your most powerful marketing asset. So don't put it off, just get going. That's the most important step.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. And, I feel the same way, because I know with my membership, when I started, I thought, oh, I'm going to have an event on Monday and Wednesday and Friday and give all these options to people and they're going to love it. And literally people were leaving saying, it's too much. I can't make everything. You're overwhelming me. And so I scaled back, and it was like, oh, now people are staying. So I totally agree with what you're saying.
And the truth of the matter is like, I've been doing this for a long time, helping people for decades, like tens of thousands of people in all kinds of different markets. And the number one reason that people cancel from a membership is overwhelm. So to your point, like if there's too much and that seed of overwhelm is planted, it's a matter of time before they leave. It's the same with like product-based memberships. Like imagine if you belong to a tea of the month membership, and you get tea delivered every month, but they're sending so much tea that now you've got all this tea piling up on your counter. It's a matter of time before you look at it and be like, I'm not going to use all this. Like, I'm going to cancel, right? And it's the same aside of a information membership. If people feel like they're not using it, then they feel guilty themselves about paying for it each month. So it absolutely is a balance. More does not equal more value in a membership. What we really want to focus on is consumption and helping people use what we're providing inside the membership.
I love that. I think that's so important. You know, one of the other things that I learned from you last year, I joined your membership last year, and you talk a lot about, you know, you don't have to feel like you need to do everything. You could like niche down. And it helped me because when I started, I thought I'm going to be talking to women and talking about technology. And people were like, well, what technology? I could talk about any technology. And then after seeing you, I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to talk about membership technology. And that's literally how now I feel like I'm getting customers way easier than before, because I was trying to do so much. And now it's like I've reduced it and it's bigger.
Yeah. When you try to be everything to everyone, you become nothing to no one, you know, and when you zero in on a particular subset of a market that have a particular problem, now you become very relevant to people where they know and remember who you are, whether that you would be relevant for them. But if not, they would know somebody who you would be relevant for, right? So like, for example, if somebody said to me, you know, I'm a parenting expert that specializes in helping parents with newborns. Well, that's not relevant for me right now, but I know people who have just had a baby that they absolutely would be relevant for, because it's a very specific, you know, area of expertise. And I think that we get scared and fearful of narrowing down. But to your point, it actually makes things a heck of a lot easier, and you create so much more momentum when you become known for something specific.
Yeah, I I completely agree. I wanted to talk to you about, you know, sometimes people will come to me and say, I have an idea for a community, but I don't think it's right. It's, you know, it's too small, or it's, you know, not interesting enough. And I'll say, well, tell me what it is. And usually the idea is fantastic. Like I even know of a membership, it's called well, Slow AF, all about running slow, right? And there's a membership about just running and not running quickly.
Yeah.
And so yes, there's a membership for everything. So I was just wondering, like, is there like, what's the most interesting membership idea that like people have come to you with where you've said, yeah, let's do
My goodness, there's so many
it?
creative ones. One of the early ones was Tamara Bennett. She had a membership site, still does. And when she launched it, I was like, wait a minute, what? And it was for teaching people how to make decorative door hangers. And I said to her, I said, wait, okay, so are those like the things at the hotel that you put on, like do not disturb? And she's like, oh, Stu. She's like, no. She's like, in the South, instead of putting like a wreath on the door, we put like these decorative door
Oh,
hangers. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, when she launched, she had hundreds of members. She's got thousands of
wow.
members now. Or I think of like Holly George. Holly George has a membership teaching people how to make balloon animals. She was a
Oh,
stay-at-home mom
amazing.
and wanted to earn a little bit extra money, for her family. And she was passionate about this. And so she started a membership. She's got thousands of members teaching people how to make balloon animals. Or
I
there's
love
Courtney
that.
Lynn. I had no idea this was even a market, but she started a membership helping pet influencers. And I said, well, what's a pet influencer? Well, she had started an Instagram account for her dog, and it had quickly grown to tens of thousands of followers. And she was getting brand deals from all these different corporations who wanted to get in front of her audience. Well, then people started reaching out and saying, well, how are you doing that? Like, how are you growing this? And she started a membership teaching people how to grow Instagram accounts for their pets. And so there's all kinds of markets,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's
Yes.
pretty amazing, how the internet has brought this world so much closer and gives us the opportunity to be able to serve people with those same passions, interests, and expertise.
Yeah, that's great examples. I love that. Um, can you talk a little bit about like the power of community? Like why are people gathering in a community? Why can't they just like do it themselves?
Well, they absolutely can do it themselves, but the truth of the matter is that I think now more than ever, people are needing and craving community. The last 2 years has been hard. It's been heavy for a lot of people. And, there was a recent survey and research that I was looking at that they surveyed thousands of people and they asked them how they felt now versus 2 years ago. And the overall sentiment was that people felt like their lives were worse now than it was 2 years ago. They felt like there's more division, there's more conflict, there's more disruption in their lives, whether it be travel that was disrupted or perhaps surgeries or health concerns, or they were impacted by, COVID in some capacity. And so with all that in mind, this is why I feel like people are craving community in a safe environment, because they crave the connection, but they don't want to be in a community where they're going to get criticized or attacked or anything for, their thoughts or opinions. They just want a safe place to have discussion around the things that they enjoy. And so I think now more than ever, it's an opportunity for us to really be able to bring people together, create that safe environment. And as a result, people form much deeper relationships. And therefore, the deeper the relationship, the longer they stay within the community.
Yeah. I find that with my community, like when people jump on Zoom together and they get to know each other, then they're more apt to, respond to that person's post or answer a question that they might have because they do feel that connection. I wanted to talk.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, Jay Stone is an example of somebody in our community who she recognized that people just wanted connection. So she would just host coffee meetups online. So there was no agenda. There was no teaching. There was no expert that was being brought on. It was just come hang out and have conversation. And she found that her members absolutely loved it. And now it's become a regular part of her membership. And so again, it kind of speaks to what we're talking about, that, people are craving that connection in a safe environment.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you're in the middle of a launch. I watched you for a few hours yesterday, and I know it's going on today and tomorrow and Sunday. Can you talk a little bit about, why should someone join? Is it too late to come, or can they come now?
No, they absolutely can come now, and they totally should. It's all free, for goodness sake. And we're delivering tons of great value. But here's the thing. The whole purpose of this free workshop is to help people go from a fuzzy idea or maybe even no idea at all, but just an interest in a membership, to having clarity, having direction and a plan, and heck, even launching their membership during the free workshop. And I know that sounds crazy. Like, wait a minute, Stu, if I'm fuzzy on an idea, how am I ever going to launch it during the free workshop? Well, you're going to find out today, because we're actually going to walk you through that process. And so it's never too late. I highly recommend come and join us, because not only will you be informed and have that clarity, that direction, and that plan, but you're also going to get swept up in the positive momentum of what's happening. And the reason this is important to join live is because you will take way more action and make and experience way more progress when you're with us live. And this is why every single year people have that fuzzy idea, but during the free workshop, they end up getting that clarity and launching their membership. Now, can you imagine, Joanne, by the end of this free workshop, being and generating recurring revenue from having launched during the free workshop? That happens. And that's why I encourage people to come and join us. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, good. Well, I'm going to be there, and I have a bunch of people already signed up with me and watching it and giving me feedback. So I'm really excited for it. I want to end with one question for you, which is, when you're at let's say you're at a cocktail party, which of course isn't happening that much now, but someone says to you, "Oh, so what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that? I know when I say technology for membership sites, I get a glazed over look. So I'm just curious how you answer that.
I say, are you familiar with Netflix? And they would say, yeah. And I said, I help other business owners create recurring revenue, memberships, and subscriptions, just like Netflix, but for their business. And they're like, oh, okay, got it. And then there's usually questions after that. Well, would it make sense for my business? And then we go down that path.
Right. Oh, I like that, because really, everyone is familiar with Netflix, so you probably have not gotten any no's. And And I wanted to say, so if anyone who's watching is connected to Adidas, Stu is fanatic about Adidas, him and his whole family, and he'd love to talk to anyone who works there that could hook him up. Is that great?
Thank you, Joanne. Yes, well, we got to spread the word. We're definitely, my dream is to be sponsored by Adidas. And so, yeah, if anybody's got any connections, let me know, because we got a great platform, and, but I would definitely love the hookup. So thank you for that, Joanne.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Stu. And let me see if I could do a Stu face before I leave.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. All right. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
All right. Thanks, Joanne. We'll talk soon.